An entitled, deranged old man blocks traffic by parking in a fire zone, and he absolutely loses his mind when he gets a ticket, despite being warned multiple times that this is exactly what was going to happen. It's a normal day and I'm gathering shopping carts in a parking lot. At our store, the area directly in front of the store is designated as a fire zone. There is yellow markings painted on the road surface, denoting where the zone is, coupled with signs all along our storefront saying that it's a fire zone and that there is no parking or even stopping within it, and it's well away from any legitimate parking spots. Despite the markings though, and the signs, people still like to park there, usually just to grab a few things, as they say. Sometimes one person will park there and their partner will hop out to go shopping. Every time I'm out there grabbing shopping carts, I always walk over and tell them, hey, look, this is a fire zone. If bylaw swings by, you could get fined or even towed. Most people look at me like they expect me to pull a tow truck out of my back pocket and nail them right then and there. I usually have a follow-up with them saying, I'm just letting you know, in case you didn't know. If you want to park there, I'm not going to stop you, but it's your own fault if bylaw shows up. This is usually enough for most people to thank me for my diligence, park there anyway, and then go inside. Every so often, there's an oddball who will snark back at me along the lines of, what? Do you think I'm blind? I know where I parked. And I just apologize over and over until they walk away. But today was completely different. This old beat-up Ford comes in hard and almost squeals to a stop in the fire zone. I just happen to be passing by with carts, thankfully on the sidewalk. I don't want to imagine what might have happened otherwise. And I get his attention. He's easily north of 65 and probably enjoying his 70s. He's got a Friar Tuck haircut and whatever the male equivalent of resting angry face is, if you know what I mean. I can already tell, even as I'm opening my mouth, that this is probably a bad idea. It was just a force of habit at this point, to be completely honest. I look at him and I say, excuse me, sir, this is a fire zone you've parked in. If bylaws come by while you're inside, you could get fined or towed. He scowls back at me and says, so? Bylaws never show up. Who do you think you are? What are you, the grocery police? I'm already adopting the customer service apology face, and that's when I said, no, sir, I'm not trying to tell you what to do. I was just... He then cut me off. He said, you're right about that one. You aren't gonna tell me what to do. I've been driving a car since you were just a disappointing runt for your mother at prom night. I'll park anywhere I please, and there's nothing you could do about it. I tried to start again by saying, sir, I was only trying to tell you, but before I could even get another word out, he cuts me off again, and he gets right in my face with his finger. You don't tell me nothing. I tell you what's what, and you just get out of my way and go do your worthless minimum wage job for the rest of your miserable, worthless life. All I could really say at that point was, yes, sir. He puffs out his chest, glares at me, and goes inside. I look up as he's leaving, and who do I spot pulling in but Greg? Greg is a bylaw officer, and I see his vehicle. I look at the truck and I smile. I practically sprint to him. He sees me coming and greets me and asks me how my day's going. I tell him it's going terrible, but I say, but hopefully about to get a whole lot better. He responds with a why not, and that's when I point to the beat-up Ford. I tell him, this jerk just tore me a new one for trying to tell him that he's parked in a fire zone. You mind giving him some karma? Greg smiles at this request, as he loves sticking it back to the bullies. He says, I can do that. He grabs his ticket book and he heads over. It was hilarious. He started in on writing the ticket while I went about my business. The old guy takes his sweet time getting back out of the store, and he shows up just in time to see Greg slip the ticket under his wiper. I was inside the store at the time, so I didn't get to hear it all, but the old guy was screaming and cursing at the top of his lungs at Greg, who was responding to him with a composed manner, calmly explaining the ticket process. He spoke to the guy for a few minutes, then went inside the store. And while the fine was only $150, it felt oh so good. I love this type of karma because it is absolutely so deserved. In my honest opinion, if you treat people in customer service like garbage, stuff like this absolutely should come your way. It doesn't happen often. Sometimes these deranged Karens get away with saying so many terrible things. But in those rare cases, the universe smiles down on all of us and gives us back beautiful moments where justice is served. This old man absolutely had it coming for treating that guy like that after he was just trying to warn him, hey, you're gonna get a ticket. It's beautiful to see, and hopefully if he ever comes back to that store, he'll have a little bit better of an attitude and he won't be so aggressively rude. My boyfriend's parents are embarrassed he's choosing community college instead of going to a university. First, let me start with my boyfriend's sister. His sister decided to go to university in California. They bragged about it all over social media. They pay the fees for her tuition, her apartment, her rent, groceries, and everything else, and it all totals up to $100,000. When my boyfriend told his parents he wanted to go to a community college, his parents, more specifically his mom, got so upset she cried about about it. Then, because he actually chose the community college, they decided to make him pay for everything, which includes his tuition and his car payments, which is about $5,000 to $10,000. She begged him to go to a university, and she also asked me to dinner just so she could beg me to make him choose a university. Also, as an FYI, he's transferring to a university after community college. To go further, his sister is an acting major and got an award, which of course they all bragged about. Meanwhile, she has a DUI. His mom was more concerned about people finding out in our hometown than actually dealing with the problem. May I mention they paid for the lawyer and never really punished her anyway? When finding out their daughter was arrested and spent a night in the county jail, they bailed her out, and the first thing they, meaning his mom, said was, "People are gonna see her wearing an ankle bracelet?" My boyfriend got a 4.0 and got an award, to which she never mentioned anything anywhere on any social media or even congratulated him. He is an engineering major, has super hard classes, stays up late doing homework, meanwhile also working at his dad's office part-time while his sister hasn't had a job since starting college 3 years ago. Now his younger sister is choosing a big university just like his other sister, which again they all bragged about. They will pay for everything just like his other sister. So basically, she's more concerned about her image and bragging rights over anything else. And my boyfriend's mom will punish her kids if they embarrass her in any way. And honestly, my boyfriend got the worst of it all because he went to community college. If I'm being completely honest, community college is a lot more affordable and sometimes smarter to go to than some top university. You pay less, you're able to get stuff done quicker, and 9 times out of 10, you're probably getting a quality education. There's nothing wrong with going to a community college. And I think he's doing it right by going to a community college and then transferring to a university that specializes in engineering. Like, that's a really smart plan. You can get a lot of your general education stuff out of the way, and then you can just focus on your university studies specific to your major. So I don't know why his mom is so bent out of shape about him going to college at a community college, and she should honestly just treat him better. My husband is angry with me after I used his hall pass he gave me after he cheated on me. We've been together for 6 years. Let me first explain what this hall pass means. It basically means that I can go sleep with whoever I want at least once after he cheated on me. You see, my husband confessed to having an affair 7 months ago. I couldn't get over it initially, and our quality time has tanked because of it, if you know what I mean. He ended up offering me this hall pass because he felt like if we were even, it would fix the issue. At first, I was angry that he would even suggest it, but he has been pushing it on me, and so I accepted it, and guess what? I finally redeemed it and spent some quality time with someone else, if you know what I mean. I told him afterwards, and he wanted to know who, what, where, when, and how. He said I could use the hall pass with anyone I wanted, but when he found out I used it with my brother's best friend, which is a person that he really dislikes, he was furious and was acting like I had cheated on him, almost as if what I did is worse than what he did to me. He ended up confronting this guy in front of my brother, which was a huge mess and just embarrassed both of us. I don't know what to do now since he is still so angry at me and is barely giving me more than 2-word answers. What should I do? I know the story wasn't started as an am I the jerk situation, but yes, both of you are jerks in this situation. The guy is 100% a jerk, and a lot more than just a jerk for cheating on you 7 months ago, but you are also a jerk for not only accepting a hall pass type situation from this man, but also choosing to stick with him after he blatantly had an affair behind your back. And then you redeem the hall pass. This is just mind-boggling to me. Both of you need to break up and see other people. First and foremost, this guy was pushing this hall pass situation on you so he would feel less guilty about cheating on you. Why would you stick with someone like that? And then why would you then redeem that hall pass as some kind of an excuse to go with another man? Is there any loyalty in this relationship in the slightest? Now, don't get me wrong. I am 100% on the side of the lady in this situation for the most part. Her husband is an absolute garbage human being. Full stop. End of story. And she should absolutely get out of this toxic, abusive relationship. This man has no idea what it means to be loyal and faithful in a marriage because he gave his wife permission to be unfaithful and then was upset when she was unfaithful. But hey, you gave her a hall pass. Why are you upset? This is comically a disaster. And I think both of these people will be a lot better off separating and going their separate ways. My husband told his friends that having children was the worst decision he ever made. Yesterday, his friends came over for dinner because it was their boys' night. So I was just hanging out and watching a movie in our room. But at one point, I went to see if the kids were sleeping. And since one of them was thirsty, I went downstairs to get a glass of water in the kitchen. And there I inadvertently heard their conversation. My husband was saying that he had a vasectomy again because he's really sick of having children, that he loves our children, but that having them was the worst decision he made in his entire life. That he only had children with me because he loves me and knows that I always wanted to be a mom. One of his friends told him that saying that is horrible, and he said that it's the truth, that sometimes he wishes it was just the two of us again. Then all of his friends started talking at the same time, and they all said that he always said he was happy to finally have children, and that he never talked like that about our kids. So they asked him what was going on, and he said he doesn't know what's happening with him, but that he just feels like that lately. And that hurt me so much. My husband is an amazing father. He loves our children and they absolutely adore him. He is really involved with everything that has to do with them. It's not like he's one of those horrible parents who just ignores his children. So I don't understand what's going on or why he said that. And I have no idea how to talk to him about this either. I feel so angry and hurt that I don't know what to say exactly. All I've been doing these last few hours is being mad and not talking to him, and he doesn't know what's going on either. And he's asked a bunch of times, but I don't feel ready to talk about it right now. I'm afraid if we talk about it now, I'll say things that will hurt, and I don't want that. How should I confront him about this? That is a really tough one. It sounds like the guy is absolutely a fantastic father and he's stepping up to the occasion and he's doing everything you would want him to do in a relationship, but maybe there's some underlying things going on that he's probably never discussed with you. It's probably good that you do know this, but at the end of the day, it's a really weird way to find out. Regardless of how you approach this, I hope it goes well and I hope things are able to get worked out between the two of you. My sister gave me an ultimatum. It's either choosing her or my current girlfriend. Things have been spiraling out of control and I've been mentally weak as of late. I'm a 22-year-old male and I have been dating my girlfriend for about 3 months, and my girlfriend has been mentally unstable as of late, and I'm trying to help her regain her stability. I don't want to get into the details because it would be too long to describe, but essentially she is bipolar and she's taking medications to help with this, and she has set up appointments with a psychiatrist so that they can help her get therapy. She has had a lot of struggles surrounding her bipolar disorder, and we've worked together to try and find some solutions for her. I have really strong feelings for her and I love her, and I want to be with her and help her recover and change, despite the difficulties we have faced. My sister then comes into the equation. She knows about my girlfriend and they communicate with each other after my girlfriend met my parents. To add on, they're going to be attending the same university next year. It was very good at first, but when she came to know about her incidents and some of the struggles she's had, she got really upset and said that she tried to have a good discussion with her, but my girlfriend stonewalled her. I don't know how they conversed over text after they first met, but my sister's frustrations were growing and growing. I didn't tell my sister the full extent of the problems, but she told me before I should break up with her and I refused. When they met again, I thought they sorted out their differences and it was all good, but I was completely wrong. I honestly think my sister did not want to be proactive at all. I'm trying to help my girlfriend overcome her issues because I really feel like we are compatible in different aspects, and I feel really bad, but my sister unknowingly tried to set me up with one of her friend's older sisters, and I got really upset since I was already in a relationship. I was under the assumption I would only take her to the mall, but I was so upset and lost my composure. We had an argument on the way back home, and to be honest, arguments are typically a normal thing with this sibling. I wanted to be honest, so I texted my girlfriend the details of the incident, and she was also super upset. My girlfriend and I are currently doing a long-distance relationship, and after she finished up work at her internship, she called my sister and they were yelling on the phone for about 20 to 30 minutes. My sister proceeded to block her on all social media and her phone number too. She told me the details of the call and how my girlfriend insulted her and said awful things about her character. Upon that, my sister admitted to making a mistake, but she was really upset and told my girlfriend about what happened. My sister has a very low opinion of her and called her a grade A narcissist. She proceeded to say I was defending her bad behavior and then gave me an ultimatum to choose either my girlfriend or her. The way I want to deal with this situation is to just let it blow over with time, and when my sister is at school out of state and moving in, I will join her to help and bring my girlfriend and have them talk out their differences in front of me. A sister and a girlfriend hold their own respective places in your life, and I'm not going to do this picking and choosing. It is so unfair of me and kind of manipulative to be forced to choose like this. I love my girlfriend still, and my sister was in the wrong for doing it, and I felt obligated to tell my girlfriend what happened, even though I knew she would go off the rails if she heard about this. So overall, it's just a messy situation, and I really hope it gets worked out. This is such a tricky situation, but most of all, it is super uncalled for the sister to try and set up his boyfriend with another girl when he is already in a relationship. And yeah, that relationship is not perfect, but trying to set up your brother with someone else, even though they're in a relationship that they're trying to make work, is not okay. The original poster goes into into more detail about how his girlfriend has been abusive in the past, verbally as well as physically, so I do understand where the sister's coming from, with her trying to set him up with somebody else, but I think the delivery was all wrong. And personally, I think it's a terrible idea to bring your girlfriend over to your sister's dorm just to try and have them sort their problems out. That is a recipe for disaster. Overall, this is kind of a weird situation, and I think you should really think carefully about what you do next, because it could spell disaster for either your sister or your girlfriend, or most of all, probably yourself. Today, I messed up by applying for a fake job online. This happened 2 weeks ago, but I just received an update regarding it and thought I would share it. I was looking for a second remote job online, and I saw a bunch of posts about data entry jobs and decided to apply to a bunch of them. A few days later, one of them reached out for an interview. The interview was conducted through a messaging app called Wire, where I was asked a series of questions related to the job, as well as some general information. When I was done, I was given an offer and was told that a check would be mailed to me so that I could purchase the necessary equipment. A check for over $4,000 arrived the next day, and at that point, I thought I got lucky in landing what was supposed to be a part-time gig. I was instructed to deposit the check and then send the money out to the vendors for the equipment. After having issues with sending the money out online due to the bank flagging it as some sort of fraud and not letting the transaction go through, I went to a branch and made a wire transfer. Now, here's the issue. The check was fake. 2 days later, the check bounced and over $4,000 was taken out of my savings account, which already had around $1,200 in it. I now owed the bank over $3,000. I filed a fraudulent claim on all the wire transactions, as well as the check, but today I got the news that the bank was unable to retrieve my money. I'm not sure what to do next. My accounts are frozen and I can't access any of my accounts online. I even tried creating another account and have my direct deposit sent to it, but the bank automatically transferred what was in the new account into the old one since I still had a remaining balance on it. The only thing I was able to do was to withdraw some money from my checking and create a new account with a different bank and have all my direct deposits go to that bank. So yeah, I messed up big time. Yeah, you're not kidding, you definitely messed up. I don't think I've ever heard of a job where they send you a check for over $4,000 to buy equipment. And you should have stopped once the bank said, hey, this is a scam. Instead, you went ahead and did a bunch of wire transfers, and now look where you are. You have a negative $3,000 balance in your account. This is a hard lesson to learn, but it's a lesson you learn pretty quickly once it happens. Like literally his bank was looking out for him, trying to stop him from doing some fraudulent activity, and he got completely played. So the moral of the story is you gotta be careful where you're getting checks, and honestly, you shouldn't have tried to cash the check. You should have just said, hey, I'm gonna deposit the check and we'll wait for it to clear. And if it bounces back, then you know for a fact it's a scam. But even then, no one just sends you $4,000 to buy equipment. I'm sorry, but that is not how this works for an entry-level data entry job. So yeah, do your research next time and be better. I worked for my grandparents and it was the most soul-crushing experience of my life. So I live with my grandparents. I just graduated high school in 2021, and I've been attending a local community college before I transferred to a 4-year university in the fall. I stayed home to take care of the house, like mowing the lawn and other chores such as that. They own a local business and don't have time to take care of everything. Well, I've made a mistake by doing this. I love my grandpa, but he doesn't see how narcissistic, mean, grouchy, and how much of a soul-crushing person he is. He has also emotionally manipulated and abused me and my brother in the past. He had also raised us very strictly, to the point of both of us being afraid of him when he would get home, because nothing would satisfy him. Nothing could be clean enough or done his way enough. He would yell at us and then threaten to take away everything we like. He would say things like, "Is this how you treat us after everything we've done for y'all, after we've provided so much? Do y'all not love us?" And then he would start quoting the Bible, saying we're being disobedient and not honoring our parents. Well, the past few days, I've been looking around for a summer job. Last fall and this spring, when I was in college, I had a work-study program, and I plan on getting one when I transfer back to school in the fall. Today, he walked in and asked me if I was planning on getting a job or staying cooped up in the house on my lazy butt. I respectfully told him I've been looking, and then without missing a beat, he started getting on me about my weight. I get that, and I don't mind that. I then sat down and in 20 minutes applied for 3 different jobs just to try and satisfy this weird need he has to always have me moving. He asked me what I was doing, and I told him that I applied for some jobs, but the jobs are about 30 minutes away. He then goes ranting on how they need help at their store, and that I could make the same amount of money working for them as I could anywhere else. I said, yes, sir, because if I say anything else, he'll get more mad and then just go off on phone me. He then told me I was going to work for them for the next 4 years until I graduate, and then I can work where I want to, but until then, apparently I have to work for them. The job itself is stocking shelves, and I would do this twice a week, as well as mow the lawn of some of their rental properties that they own. Now, I've done this job once before last summer, and it's the most soul-crushing thing on earth. It is absolute hell working for him. All the workers are afraid of him, and they know not to talk to him. He is a mean grouch of a person, but if we're going to church or if we're in the public eye, he's totally different. He can also be nice 1 second and then incredibly angry for the next. I'm not sure what to do in this situation, so any advice would be really appreciated. You need to figure out a way to get away from this. I'm sorry to be the one to break it to you, but you grew up with a very abusive guardian. I don't care that he's your grandparent. This man has no business acting like this and treating people so poorly, and he has no right to tell you where you can and cannot work. You are not obligated to him in any way. The original poster in this situation is still very young, so I can understand the hesitancy of trying to get away from his grandparents and trying to be his own man. But trust me when I say this, you will get away from them eventually, and you're going to flourish as you're able to be your own man and do your own thing, even if that means putting up with him for just a little bit longer. Thanks for watching. When you subscribe, make sure to hit the bell to turn on notifications. To finish listening to all the stories, use the playlist at the top of the description. And the next time you live stream, use the cream of the crop music. Search Cream of the Stream on Spotify or whatever platform you use for copyright-free music to use for your next stream.